Hello and welcome to another episode of Ek Mulakat. When we bring these interviews to you, we understand that these are people of special prominence, people who have a speciality of doing something extraordinary. As much they might appear like normal people, ordinary people, yet they have something within them that makes them stand out. Their sense of purpose, something that are motivated from, something that lies within, makes them stand out from everybody who is around them. What makes them special is something that we want to discover. This is our effort as well. Today, we have Justice Subedi, who is the Justice in the Supreme Court of Nepal. He holds 3 master's degrees, 2 degrees from the Tribhuvan University in Nepal, 1 in sociology, the other in an aspect of law, and he is also a graduate of University of Essex, where he did his master's in international human rights law. He is also pursuing a PhD, and along with his lifelong academic career, with studying and also in his work in the field of judiciary, he brings an extraordinary amount of experience, and this is something that we would want to understand, that what makes him special. Justice Subedi, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
First of all, it is an honor to have you here with us, and many of our friends would be very much interested in knowing what your journey has been and how you have traveled so much in your profession as well, but also as a person. It takes a great amount of work to come to a place of prominence. Just to begin with, just to give an overview of who you are, where do you come from, what kind of family, where exactly in Nepal you belong to, what kind of education you had, just those details, please.
Thank you, Sriji. It's a great pleasure to be here with you and to share my feelings and idea with the audience of Ek Mulakat. It's an honor and pleasure for me. Actually, I am from a western part of Nepal, a remote place called Magdi district, and I did my school education in my village school. Then I went college in Pokhara. I did my intermediate level. Then I went to bachelor's degree class for Kathmandu, which is capital city of Nepal. I completed my graduation in law. Then I did my master's in sociology, later master's in law as well. Then I had an opportunity to do my postgraduate from Japan and UK as well. Before that, after just completing my law graduate, I joined the judicial service as an officer of the court. Working around 2 decades as an officer, I gradually promoted to the Secretary and Registrar General of the Supreme Court. Then I appointed as a Chief Registrar, which is the Chief Administrative Officer of the court. And back in 2018, I appointed as a Chief Judge of High Court in Nepal. After serving 3 years and so, I got appointment to the Supreme Court of Nepal. Now I am working in the Supreme Court as a justice.
Wonderful. For someone who comes from a remote part in Nepal, somebody who was born in village, this journey appears extraordinary, because many people would think, was it really something that you wanted to do? Is it something that you had a passion for, maybe for law or justice, or because many people have this strong sense of justice inside them for seeing what is right and seeing what is wrong. So how was it as a child? Were you brought up in that kind of atmosphere, or was it something that you picked up later on?
I don't think only one particular incident inspired me to choose the subject of law. What I think is, when I was a high school student, there was a kind of movement for the democracy in the country. It was the time partyless panchayat system, and my seniors and elders were talking about the democracy, about the human right. Maybe unknowingly, that has given me an impression to choose the topic law. And just after the completing my education in 1990, there was a kind of regime change, and the multi-party democracy was introduced at that time. I think that may have a kind of impression, influence in my career, I think.
Moving to your personal life, usually we see that our family, the place we were born, often have a lasting impression on us. They mold us in a way that cannot be comprehended so easily. What kind of influences did you have in your childhood from your family, their siblings and parents and grandparents and neighborhood? All of that has an impact on us.
Yeah, actually, we were 8 siblings. I have my 2 sister, elder sister, 3 elder brothers, and 2 younger brothers. And during school days, we had some sort of similar of age.
Yes.
And mostly my parents had some sort of inspiration for the quality education, good education.
Good
Though the
education.
school, there was no any option to go for the city to admit in the boarding school. It was not chances. Only the working hard, integrity, and sincerity that my parents always gave me a lesson for hard working, sincerity. That always inspired me in spite of difficulties, which was quite natural, and that led me to complete my school education with very good marks. Then it led me to the enrollment of the university, where throughout my university, I never experienced the second position during my school. I think the background of my family, support of my parents, and my brothers and relatives, definitely their lifestyle, their emotional support gave me this sort of strength, courage, resilience to come to this point, I think.
Very beautiful how, with great humility, you say that it has come from a point of collective where all of these people have contributed to where you stand today. When you were speaking about challenges, many people today do not want to face challenges. When there are difficult situations, people often complain, why has this problem come to me? And as a justice, I believe you know it very well that people come to you with problems. You see a lot of problems in the society, peoples, corporations, large-scale problems coming to you. So when challenges come up like this, what is the personal work that goes behind in your mind in terms of how do you see challenges? Do you see them as obstacles, or do you see them as stepping stones, or you see them as something that is blocking you? Because many people, many youngsters and children would want to seek guidance on how do we really see problems in our life.
It's a very practical question, Sriji. It's a reality. It's a reality, not only for me as a person or in my personal professional life. Everybody is facing challenges in life, in daily life. Only the things is that how they perceive the challenge is a major issues. How I see is every challenge has some sort of opportunity. And when the challenges comes to me, I always try to find the silver lining, that there might be some opportunities to explore a new way, to interpret in new way, to perceive it in new way. I don't have any experience to escaping any kind of problem and any kind of challenge. What the mantra or what inspire me is that if you have some sort of clarity in vision,
conviction or a
strong
determination.
conviction,
Yes.
strong conviction, clarity of thought, and you must be of pure and integrity to analyze this any problem or challenges without having any sort of influence, any sort of biasness. You will definitely reach on the good conclusion. Whatsoever the challenges come to me, first of all, I should be pure enough, neutral, only the confine on that problem, not on the person.
Yes.
That would definitely lead to the logical conclusion to me.
Very beautifully spoken, Justice Subedi. I think that is one of the quality of a justice, is to be neutral, to be not influenced by anything. And most often, I appreciate how beautifully you put it through in terms of looking at problems, because sometimes we are so influenced by looking at the problem that we do not see the silver lining, we do not see the opportunity that exists around it, like you mentioned, because we are so captured by just being stuck in the problem that we do not see that we should detach ourselves to stay neutral from it and look for what is positive in it, what better outcome might come out of it. And it is very wonderful to receive this kind of insights from a justice, because I believe very few people really share these aspects of how do you really think when you see problems heads on. Moving on to one of the important questions that plagues today's society is we are a very modern society today, at least we believe so. We are constantly bombarded with technology and new changes coming up every day. We consider ourselves to be very scientific today. In a fast-moving world like today's that we are in, we have our own set of challenges, our own set of problems of anxiety, of stress, of tension, of relationships becoming strained. And naturally you see that translating into cases in the courts as well. More or less that happens in everyday life for people. So what role do you think that spirituality might have in today's world? Is it helpful, or does it play a role, or is it something that is very outdated that might not serve any purpose? What are your thoughts?
It is the thought that should be widely discussed in present context, I think. As you told, Sriji, science and technology have worked wonder. It has given us unprecedented convenient facilities and so much. But what I see the lacking is there is a lack of enduring peace and tranquility in the people, in spite of having a materialistic gain, physical well-being and achievement. It is the time to explore the enduring peace. I think the inner self, what we discussed recently, I think it's not only the observation, it is scientifically proven that spirituality has given the strength, I think, to provide the humanistic result of the science and technology.
True.
In every aspect of the life. To me, spirituality is not against the science and technology. How we perceive the result, how we find the humanistic result, or result with values, ethics, that is the spirituality. it does not go against the modernity. Modernity requires spirituality, I think. I just see, just for example, regarding the climate change we are talking about, I think every faith in the world, religious belief, worship the river, worship the mountain, worship the tree. It's a kind of spiritual values. If we can realize it in our practical life, the major problem of the climate change would be addressed to some extent. It's only an example. In every aspect of life, just for my profession, which requires a higher degree of fairness, higher degree of neutrality and courage and wisdom. Without having spirituality or spiritual wisdom, it's very hard to be neutral from the subject. That's why I would like to say a new generation should be think in this way, It is not antagonistic that physical or science and technology and spirituality is
different.
It goes hand in hand and complementary. They are complementary. It gives a complete result, I think.
Very beautiful how you put that to perspective, saying that spirituality is required to maintain a sense of neutrality, to become wise, and to also have a sense of fairness, which is very much required for everybody in the world today. If somebody would be confused or disturbed or anxious, then one might not be able to decide easily. But if you have a sense of calm, and if you have a sense of what is right and not, if you develop that kind of wisdom, it helps you to become a better person, to make better decisions in life, definitely. You have come here at the Brahmakumaris headquarters in Mount Abu, and as a justice, you have traveled far and wide. You have also seen so many people. You have had a wide range of experiences. So you have an discerning eye to judge and to see things for what they are. So here at the Brahmakumaris, what did you see? What was your experience like? Did you see something that was positive that people could take from here and use it for themselves? Anything that you wanted to share?
Very good, Shriji. And though I just came here in Shanti yesterday, and it might be very early to give my observation. But whatever I found within these 24 hours, it's a extraordinary place, particularly in terms of knowledge, yoga, virtues and services. What I found, it's a remarkably blending of such values of things like yoga, knowledge, service, and virtues. It's very hard to find in a single place where all some sort of values and virtues can you find it once. Though I'm just a beginner and a kind of called jigyasu about the values of Brahmakumaris. But what I found in a day is an extraordinary place here.
Definitely. I believe since you have that eye for looking for things and you can see clearly from a view of a detached observer with the neutrality, you could see what is happening around. There are people who are watching you. They might be interested to find what would Justice Subedi want to tell us. What is that he would have something in his mind that he would want to offer us. So as the last parting gift, I would say, of this meeting, of course, a message or something that you would want to share to our friends who are listening to you, who are watching the show. So what would that be?
What I think is the predominating value of the present time is more tilted toward materialistic gain and physical well-being. Only the physical well-being doesn't give the enduring peace. Peace and happiness. Happiness emerges from the inner self. For that, things should be considered in different ways. One of the major things I consider coming here is a spirituality. Not only generally people think that spirituality is a matter who are concerned to elder people or people of elder. That's not the right perception, I think. Even outside, even youth and growing people, while they use the spirituality, when they internalize, rationalize the way of spirituality, it makes the life very easier. It makes the life very easier and very straightforward. And it gives a kind of happiness where the men are wondering to find it. And I think my message to myself, not for other actually, it's myself and my motto that would work for us. Yeah.
Very nice, very beautifully said, Justice Subedi. The way this conversation has gone forward so much, it does not feel appropriate to end it like this. But nonetheless, the clock tells me that we should end the conversation here. This conversation has been very rich in terms of how a person can actually lead a life in a better way, how we all strive to look for happiness in our lives, and yet we look for it in wrong places. We are looking for it outside, whereas it begins on the inner end. And that approach of inside out is what really makes life more fruitful, more enjoyable, and leads to a much more satisfied life. And thank you so much for coming in today and sharing those insights with us. And I believe there are some of those parts which were very intimate, but you were very candid and very open in bringing that up. This meeting, like it is said in Ek Mulakat, should not be the one ending here, but to future instances, we look forward to seeing you. Thank you nonetheless for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Friends, that was Justice Subedi for you. For someone who sees challenges of people in everyday living, he brings in an amazing sense of clarity, a sense of calm. And a quality that justices need to have is the quality of neutrality, of to be an observer, of to be detached, to not be influenced by the problems or the issues that plague in front of you, but to have that sense of balance within you. And I believe in this conversation, everything that he said brought that about him and shared a message that is not just a message for you, but also a message that he thinks it is a message for himself. The value of spirituality. It is not something that only old people have to be doing, but it is something that everyone needs today so that we could lead better lives. We could become better people. That's all on this episode. I will see you again. Until then, take care.